I'm about to spend $250 in the next 5 minutes buying the cheapest tech on the internet. And I'm not talking trash, I'm on a mission to find the hidden gems of the internet. The stuff that genuinely makes your life better for barely any money. Okay, so we got a $4 watch here that's apparently completely waterproof, but the thing looks like it's made of paper. Wait, so you can buy Bluetooth earphones with active noise cancellation, a touchscreen display for $7.93? Surely not. Wait, this is actually really interesting. Apple charges you about $400 to upgrade from a normal watch to an Ultra. AliExpress charges you $1.98. Okay, I'm so buying this to test to see if it can actually give you that same level of durability. So apparently you can also get an intelligent robot vacuum cleaner for $9. On one hand, I'm just sat here looking at this thing thinking, no way, like this is just gonna suck. Well, or not suck. But then it's got 4.8 star reviews. Okay, I think we should pivot. Cheapest LED gadgets. This actually looks really cool. You can get an atmosphere light for your car. It really does look like romance mode. Wait till you tell her how much you paid for it. Someone's selling an infinity dodecahedron for less than $25. We bought one of these in one of our previous buying videos, and I'm pretty sure I paid between $300 to $500, and the effect was mesmerizing. Anime LED light painting. Oh, I think I get it. So you've got a predefined drawing on this canvas, and then it seems like you can configure the lights behind that drawing to change how that drawing looks. If it actually emits enough light to be a lamp too, then that's a very cool product. I wonder if they just have like a really crazy LED lamp. Oh, crikey. This product is literally tell me you're shopping on AliExpress without telling me you're shopping on AliExpress. How about the cheapest useful gadgets? This is actually so nice, by the way. Thanks to the Opera browser, our sponsor, this is easily the most organized buying section I've ever done. Oh my god, you can actually get a smart ring from Temu. Can you imagine at the end of the day, congratulations, you've done 5 million steps. This is something I could actually see myself using. So it's a shower head that has built-in filters to clean the water, and then a turbo fan to propel the water out with higher pressure. And that is an absolutely bonkers side by side, ours versus others, but yeah, we'll see. Shower phone case. I've tried a lot of shower phone cases. This is actually a specific problem that I'm yet to solve. So this is a purse or backpack cleaning ball. So you just put it into the bag, and what do you, shake it around? And then it cleans it. The self-stirring mug. Kind of a premium design though for a very not premium price. Oh, this is actually a great idea. Tiny little macro pad that you can attach to your computer or laptop to get quick extra commands. That said, even though I do know how useful this could be, does kind of look a lot like someone started building a keyboard and then just got bored 2 minutes in. Oh, it's one of those phone enlarger things. To be fair, the last time I remember testing something like this was probably 10 years ago. Since then, phones have become way higher resolution and way brighter, and this is now also curved. A string rope launcher, which is apparently the hottest toy of 2023. Well, I have clearly missed the trend. So the idea is that it should be able to shoot glowing string at 40 plus miles an hour to give the illusion that it's defying gravity. Oh, wait a sec. Loop lasso. Okay, so this is $7.93. Let me just split screen it so I can see both. The loop lasso is $39.99. So let's just get both and see if that is a waste of money. But of course, what about the cheapest speaker? Wireless flame speaker, which has 9 captivating lighting effects. I actually don't quite understand how they're pulling off that effect for this kind of price. No. Xiaomi 16 terabyte flash drive, and it's $6.36. 777 reviews, 4.6 stars. I mean, either just the entire review system is broken, or there's something to it. Oh, yes, I completely forgot. Food gadgets. This is where the fun begins. Ah, the Crimpit wrap sealer. So it's got these serrated edges, and something about the way that they connect seals off any wrap that you put inside. I just found a very interesting looking sandwich maker. I think I'm gonna stick to the Crimpit. Then check this out, I can actually see using Opera's tab traces all my most recently visited tabs because they're highlighted underneath. Link below to download the Opera browser for free. Trisha? Yeah? I'm getting hungry.
They always say don't shop when you're hungry.
Oh yeah, they do. You can get a slide for your pizza. Why does pizza get to have all the fun? This thing can apparently make ice cubes by twisting. That's like a superpower. Laces that you don't have to tie, like, yes please. Wait, there's a laser that you can attach to your golf putter. Kind of looks like one of those machines that shocks your abs into existence. Smart glasses. I mean, there's no way, right? $32. Well, that was quite possibly the cheapest shop we've ever done on this channel. So let's find out if my bargains were as big as I think they were. Everything is here. All 24 gadgets on this table right now cost us less than $250 in total. So let's test them to find out what's trash and what's treasure. With the single best product winning a permanent position in our new studio's Hall of Fame. Oh, and we're getting cheaper and cheaper as we go. Starting with the editing, I guess. Kicking things off with the $34 smart glasses, which come in a not bad little case, actually. I was half expecting a plastic bag. And they also look surprisingly fashionable. But what exactly makes them smart? Because there's no app, there's no cameras on them. It's just speakers and a microphone. So if you were sitting right there and I was having a listen on these, you can hear everything, can't you? Right, so it seems to use micro loudspeakers as opposed to the bone conduction like the best audio glasses have. So it's not as solo a sound experience as you might want. I just don't get it. Like, I don't get why anyone would buy a pair of glasses that don't help you to see, they're not prescription, that don't protect you from the sun, they're not sunglasses, and that project your music to the 10 closest people in your vicinity, while not even sounding all that great to you. Just buy a pair of earphones, dude. Definite trash. I have really high hopes for our wireless flame speaker though. If this thing delivers on the promises of good audio plus advanced lighting effects for $30, it's gonna be such a sick gift recommendation. Oh dear, the thing feels so light. It feels like a Happy Meal toy. Oh my God.
Bluetooth mode.
It's literally the Wish.com national anthem. Oh, but it's actually way better than I expected. I just kind of assumed I would be disappointed. It would just be some sort of vague glow effect, but this is like actually convincingly fire. So I imagine what's happening is there's an LED strip at the back with, by the way, multiple lighting modes. Oh, the blue's incredible. And then that LED strip is effectively firing through some sort of rotating cylinder on the inside to give the illusion that it's moving across the speaker.
Bluetooth connected.
Okay, you guys can have a front row seat. It's not bad at all, really. It's quite full. It's not the crispest ever, but it's got plenty of bass and volume. Okay, and then this is a very good catch. This Anchor speaker is basically the best speaker you could get if you poured that entire $30 into just maximizing audio quality. Okay, I'll admit, way nicer connecting sounds. Okay, that is better. That is better for sure. It's got way more control over the bass. It's a powerful sound considering how tiny the thing is. So, me personally, I would pick this. I think this is a better product. I don't think you need a speaker which has lighting in it. But to be fair, if you wanted it, I don't think I've ever seen a combo of the two being executed as well as this for $30. So you know what? Treasure. But let's say that you actually just want to focus on fun but frivolous lighting. For just $25 then, we managed to get ourselves an infinity dodecahedron. To give you context, this is about a 20th of the price that we paid for that previous one from Strangest Tech. So either this is way worse, or I actually just got scammed the first time. Oh, we can't waste peels like this. Okay, moment of truth. Ooh. Wow. I would say the infinity dodecahedron effect itself is every bit as impressive here as it is on one's many times the price. This is absolutely mesmerizing. And it does genuinely feel like you're looking into this void that continues forever. The only two compromises are A, the one that I expected, which is that the internal lighting isn't as bright. It's less of a lamp, more of a prop. And then B, the thing that I didn't anticipate is the fact that the mirrors, I suppose being so cheap, are ever so slightly warped. And because the effect it's trying to create is so precise, you do slightly notice that imperfection. But at the same time, the impact you're getting here for $25, it's hard to complain. It's basically a set of 12 one-sided mirrors that allow you to see in but that reflect light internally, all combined with LED strips running across each edge. You know what? I am a happy customer. There you go. That's a treasure. I feel like the table lamp with fan for student studying, LED desk lamp with pen holder, multifunctional torch, nightlight, rechargeable, is exactly the kind of product that I would have yearned for when decorating my teenage bedroom. It's extremely student core. I gotta say, this thing is such a hat on a hat on a hat kind of gadget. Like, it's a lamp, it's a fan, it's a thermometer, it's a clock, it's a pen holder. So as far as the lamp's concerned, it's got warm light, it's got cool light, and then it's got effectively daylight. The fan has level 1, level 2, level 3. Yeah, that's about as much air as you're gonna want blowing at your face midway through a Zoom meeting. But also, every single thing is adjustable. Like, this moves, then the actual lights themselves move, then the whole structure moves, then even the pen holder, you can transfer it from one side to another. It's like part teenage gadget and like part something out of a James Bond movie. James Bond really likes stationery.
Nice.
One thing I will say though is the thermometer on this thing reports 25 degrees Celsius, whereas it is 23.7.
So it's one of those gadgets where you can trust the things that you can see, like the fan, the pen holder, the lights. You're not going to want to trust its temperature readings. It feels cheap, it is cheap, but it does a lot of things that you would want done on a desk. I'm going to say treasure. Now, if the Twist ice cube maker works the way that I think it's supposed to, then it should reduce the mess from getting ice cubes out of your freezer and into a drink. Wow, this thing looks like that's something else entirely. So you make ice as usual in this tray, you place that tray into your Twist contraption, and then... Okay. That actually worked. I mean, it makes sense. What's happening inside of this is that the cup twisting is deforming the lattice of ice created by the tray, causing the cubes to fall out. It's really just a less feral way of smashing your bag of ice cubes against a counter to break them up. But, I mean, not having to touch the ice is cool. Or, you know, not cool, I guess. But I really don't think the average person has a problem with just using an ice cube tray and popping them out. How much of a hassle is this really? Not much.
No, you didn't get that with you.
Yeah, okay, all right. I'm actually really torn because I assumed this would be garbage when I bought it, but it does actually do exactly what it says on the tin. But then considering that it's still $12 and it's not exactly taking up a small amount of storage space, it's not the most efficient. I feel like it would be way better to just get a silicone ice tray where you can very easily pop out the cubes one by one, also without touching the ice. So, can't give it treasure. Whoa. Just like that throw. Can we fix that in the edit? I feel like the second that we turn this art frame on, I'm either gonna love it or I'm gonna hate it. No in between. So it's a fixed picture with a bunch of LEDs behind it that are apparently going to make it look like dynamic neon signs within the image. I gotta say, based on how incredibly light the thing is, I'm not exactly filled with confidence. Time to test it. 3, 2, 1. I think that's pretty great. It's not the brightest thing in the world, but I mean, nowadays it's pretty hard to buy just even an A4 art print for less than $11. So the fact that this is a print, a frame, LEDs that are also interchangeable, that's gonna have to be treasure. I didn't expect this many of these products to actually be good. So very good success rate so far, I gotta say. Might be about to get better, because if it turns out that you can make do with a robot vacuum at like literally the price of 2 slightly bougie coffees, that would be pretty amazing news. Wow, this thing is undersized. Maybe a good vacuum if you live in a hobbit hole. So I've prepared 2 separate enclosures. One is gonna have a top of the line $1,000 vacuum cleaner. One is going to have our $10 vacuum cleaner. So lovingly hand crushed Cheeto dust is gonna go there, and then the same in the middle in this one. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Let's come back to this later to see how they've done. Oh yeah, I can immediately see the appeal of this golf laser. I'm imagining it like turning on some sort of Mario Golf easy mode, but like in real life. Obviously you'd be strung up on the 18th hole flagpole if you ever tried to use one of these in a tournament, but for training, I could see the benefit. It's pretty simple. You just put this on the shaft and it fires a laser in a straight line from the middle of the club head. It so feels like I just picked up a video game power-up. There's a lot riding on this. Oh! I blame the laser. No, but seriously, I actually do blame the laser. Because the problem is that while this is a laser-precise device, by definition, it's relying on human setup to actually make sure it's straight. And in my case, that's meant that it's probably about 2 degrees off, which alone is enough to completely miss a putt. But then the even bigger problem is, even if you did perfectly calibrate the thing, I feel like the hardest part of putting isn't actually hitting the ball in the direction of the hole. It's accounting for the elevation, the wind, the terrain, none of which a straight line drawn on the floor is going to help you achieve. Which means it's a good gag gift. No one should actually buy this. Oh yeah, it's beginning to feel a lot like lunchtime with the pizza slide.
Pizza time.
So, it looks like this works using like a very literal conveyor belt. You basically move this handle and this non-stick surface travels around in a circle. So let's say that I wanted to pick up this doughy, uncooked pizza. I could either go in with a traditional pizza paddle, which I can see the direction this is going in, and it will not lead to a complete pizza at the end. Now, obviously, skill issue here. I'm not a professional chef, and a professional chef could happily use one of these to get this up properly. But that's the whole point of the pizza slide. I can't quite see how this is going to start the pickup process. This material has got to be incredibly grippy. Let's try it. 3, 2, 1. Whoa. That was incredible. And then, let's see if we can load it in the oven while keeping its shape. I would actually say 100% preservation. Oh yeah, I have also seen a bunch of TikToks of people using this to clean up like sauces from surfaces, so I thought I'd try it. If this doesn't work, that could be a problem. Some part of me is just thinking, surely not. But it works? I mean, it's just like a bit of grease-proof paper mounted on some very cheap wood, but I guess what they've achieved with that is pretty interesting. If I was to pick that up, put that there, and then... Holy... That is so impressive. What the hell? Easy. At $9 now. Oh, even my reflexes are getting cheaper. It is self-stirring mug time. So my immediate thought with this is that it must be made for drinks that can easily separate. They're claiming that because the mixer comes down from the top instead of up from the bottom, that it also mixes more evenly. I will say slightly disappointed that this is not actually wood, it's plastic made to look like wood. But, love this, the mixing handle, oh no, wait. I meant to say the mixer is stored in the handle and how great that is, but actually they didn't think about this one, did they? Slight design flaw, actually, in hindsight. Could have been great. Oh, okay, it requires 2 AAA batteries, so not quite as high-tech as its smooth exterior suggests, but it's $9. I'm not mad. Okay, so espresso shot at the bottom. World's cheapest milk. Looks nice and yellow. Moment of truth. Oh, it's kind of satisfying, isn't it? It's scratching that same itch of like hearing a coffee grinder first thing in the morning. It's actually looking pretty nice and frothy, I gotta say.
Brother,
That's not good. What did I expect it was gonna taste like? Taste aside, because that's my fault, has it done its job of mixing the drink? Yes, absolutely. I can't actually quite understand what this does that can't be achieved with a spoon. Now, the so-called Xiaomi earphones, this I am fascinated by. Like, the value for money proposition just feels too good to be true. So what is the catch? Well, for starters, it's pretty clear that this isn't actually Xiaomi or their Redmi sub-brand. It's this really weird thing that seems to specifically happen on AliExpress, where every other product is supposedly a Xiaomi product. And my best guess is that it's probably just because they can get away with it. Xiaomi have their fingers in so many different pies in terms of product categories that I imagine if someone told you that Xiaomi did make touchscreen earphones, then most people would believe them. And them using that brand name does add a layer of legitimacy and trust. Okay, so it's an LCD display, fine. I wasn't expecting OLED. And why does it run at a silky smooth 60 frames per second? This, I did not see coming. This is like actually, no exaggeration, a smoother running interface than the one on the Galaxy Watch Ultra. But then, what do you do with the display? Okay, there's a bunch of different wallpapers, so let's select this one. This actually has no right to look this acceptable. We've got remote camera, which means actually, again, quite responsive. I mean, people buy separate devices just to have that functionality. For more than $7 alone, you can find the earphone case. But then, Why are you searching? Oh yeah, then you got media controls. So if we start playing some music on the phone, this can control it too. Okay, let's see how they sound. They also have stem control, so I can single tap to play and pause, and then I can double tap to skip to the next song. Put it this way, I have listened to a lot of earphones at this price that have none of the extra features that this does, that also sound worse. They're not amazing. They're exactly what you'd expect cheaper earphones to sound like. So this is actually a really weird one, in that I am simultaneously extremely impressed that this many things are able to be done by a gadget costing this little money. It's phenomenal that tech is at that level now, while at the same time being hesitant to recommend it. Because, I mean, if something can sound this decent at $7 with all these gimmicks, then a $7 pair of earphones could sound even better if you bought it without the gimmicks. And that's where I would personally side, because all of this remote phone stuff, while cool, is largely just introducing an extra layer in which things can go wrong. Ultimately, I think something like this is going to cause you more problems than it's going to solve. I can already see the software's a little bit janky, and I don't think this screen is going to do any favors to battery life. So, reluctantly, trash. Real Xiaomi wouldn't do me like this. And while we're on the subject of cheap knockoffs, let's have a look at the LED rope launcher. Ah yes, the rotating, well, we'll never know, the entire box is a freaking warning label. So let's find out if it's as good as the original $40 loop lasso. So this is the original. Oh my God, I feel like I need a moment just to process the sorcery that I'm looking at right now. So there's two motors over here that are effectively ejecting this string at 40 plus miles per hour, which is fast enough for the thing to effectively defy gravity. You could so see how you could break this in like 5 minutes of playing. This string develops even a tiny imperfection and you got a problem. I guess that's why it comes with spare strings. And now the fake. Although, given how much the original was struggling, the prospects aren't looking great. The effect is a little bit less stable down here, but you can do exactly the same thing. It's weird, it's like you're interacting with a real-life optical illusion. Oh, that feels weird. So it's a tiny bit less polished than the original, but it's like every bit as fun, which for something that you might well just play with for one day, is all it needs to be. Besides, the rope here actually, ironically, seems to be more substantial than the rope on the original. Pretty easy. Treasure. I gotta say, I find the idea so funny of someone thinking they've ordered a keyboard and only receiving 3 keys and a knob. Someone will have done it. Oh, it comes part disassembled. So you can get the satisfaction of finishing it off yourself. It's actually got hot swappable mechanical keys. I can take out both the keycap, but also the entire switch itself, which is pretty extra for $7. And I guess that's why there's only 3 of them. Oh, this feels good. And look, RGB underneath the keys. Gamers rejoice.
Okay, let's go.
The whole thing just works really well. Like, I've set it up so that my far left key is copy, next one is paste. That alone saves me like 50 right clicks per day. The knob is controlling volume, and you can even tap it to instantly mute and unmute. And then I couldn't figure out what to do with the last key, so I just... Treasure. I've seen these shower cases on TikTok a lot, and it's a cool idea, kind of like those super fancy hotels where there's a waterproof TV in the bath. So installation is super simple. It's an adhesive, and then the case just slides on top of the hooks that come out of it. But we will come back to test this later when we have our turbofan shower head installed. But now things are starting to get a little worrying, because out of every single product here, this is the one where cheap build quality could literally hurt me. It's the massage patches. How? It's literally saying on this that it can knead me, but there's nothing here that could possibly create like a push. So it's got to be entirely electrical stimulation. All right, where's a safe place to put this? Okay. Love it when I get strapped in for my massages. Ah! Ah! I don't like it at all. Look at my hand. My hand is actually spasming. I'm being moved like a puppet.
Can we put it on to massage?
Wait, so this isn't Ah! What the hell? Why am I doing a Spider-Man? I'm quite impressed that something so tiny is able to have such a visceral impact, but I wouldn't call it a massage. It has one here called Slap. In 30 minutes of vacuuming, this one looks like it's completely vaporized the dirt in its area. This one's made it worse. There is no suction happening here. There is no
tank to put things into. It's an aimless robot that moves in random directions, and its only way of cleaning stuff is by brushing this pad against your surfaces, which I guess could be mildly beneficial for like the first 5 minutes, but as soon as you've got noticeable dirt on this, then all you're doing after that point is gently massaging it back into your surfaces. Yep. Trash. Oh, now it gets juicy. Literally no way this is not a scam. Wait, they've actually printed a 16 terabyte label on here. So they're still sticking to their claim of 16 terabytes, even now the product has arrived. What is the end game? Gotta say, my tech spider senses are tingling pretty loudly right now, because I mean, the highest available storage for a USB thumb drive is currently meant to be about 2 terabytes. And to get that, it's a 3-figure price tag, not like, $6. Okay, let's plug it in. So USB drive E, it exists. It's a real storage device. Okay, so we click that, click properties. It says 15.2 terabytes. I'm not buying it. We need to test this. So I've got a bunch of massive video files on an SD card, so they definitely play off that. But what happens if I drag those files to the USB drive? Okay, so the file's on the drive, and it still plays. If anything, actually, it's playing back smoother than it played back on the original SD card that I recorded it on. I'm a bit bemused right now. There's only one other thing I can think of trying. I'm just gonna drag in an absolutely enormous 80 gigabyte file, see if that breaks it. If it doesn't, there's something very strange happening here. Oh, this is gonna take an age to transfer. Okay, let's come back to it.
Now it's time for the curved phone screen magnifier. This is just $5. This is now the ultra premium platinum tier of penny pinching. We're now so affordable that I felt like even my clothes need a downgrade. Oh, much better. So, here's the situation I'm imagining. You check into a hotel one night, you got your phone, you don't have a laptop, but you're planning on watching something. Does this make that phone feel like a big screen experience? You know what? This is actually a lot more watchable than I was expecting it to be. I distinctly remember the experience of using this with an old smartphone. It was not great. But the fact that like an iPhone 16 Pro has such a bright display, such a high resolution, means that it scales way better. It definitely does get distorted around the edges, but it's a stable enough image such that if you were just shuffling around in bed, for example, it's not distracting. Plus, the fact that phone speakers have also gotten way louder over the generations means it better replicates the feel of watching something on a laptop. I think it deserves treasure.
Gotta say, this watch is exactly the kind of product I was trying to find for this video. It's cheap, but it's achieving that cheapness in a genuinely intelligent way as opposed to just sucking. So it's made out of a synthetic material called DuPont paper, which is a flexible, water-resistant spin of polyethylene fibers. It's actually what a lot of mailing pouches are made from. And I guess they've chosen to use it here specifically because it allows light to penetrate it, although not particularly well. It's got this button hidden underneath the surface. You press once to light up the time, again to view the date, and then a third time for seconds. You know what? I thought I was gonna like this, but it actually kind of sucks. The display is really hard to read. It's not very bright. This paper feels really too much like paper. I kind of thought it might have a bit of a fibrous texture to it. It doesn't. All topped off with the fact that it can't even display a 24-hour clock. It has to be 12-hour, which is a pretty essential feature, I think, for a digital watch. But just to make sure that it can at least withstand the water that it says it can, then we have probably the single product that I most want to be good. Being able to recommend just a dirt cheap shower head would be a cool way to improve people's everyday lives. So you've got the shower head itself and then the filter. So the filter goes in here, the shower head replaces your existing shower head, and that's basically setup done. It's not a complicated product to install. This turbo fan, this is still a mystery to me. Because let's be honest, the product page was absolutely implying that this fan is somehow turbocharging your water. But surely you're just losing energy, since the fan is yet another thing that the water has to do before it comes out. So either this is like incredibly intelligent and it's somehow mixing up the water and the air to increase the volume and therefore increase the pressure as the water is being ejected out, or it's complete nonsense that actually just makes it worse. So this is our normal shower head. I looked it up yesterday, by the way, and turns out these are about $200 per shower head. So I don't know how it gets to that price, but good thing it was included with the house. 3, 2, 1. That's actually extremely powerful. And now this is our $4 shower head. Whoa! That's That's really interesting. You see, it took like a second to get warmed up, and now it's going. Wow. I would actually say that is ejecting water with more pressure. Now, whether that's because of the turbofan or just really tiny holes, I'm not sure, but the output is quite incredible. I mean, look at the way the water comes out. It's hard not to be impressed by this thing. I love it. I think that's it's an easy treasure. Okay, so the watch still works. Doesn't mean I think it's a good product though. Easy trash. As for the phone case, oh God. I mean, that just wasn't my fault. The adhesive wasn't strong enough to take one open of the phone case. Because you know what, already, you can go. And with this, the only thing that we actually really need to test is phones nowadays, obviously, don't need water protection anymore. Pretty much all of them have it. So the only time this could possibly be useful is if this allows you to still use your touchscreen as if your hands were dry. Thankfully, that's a pretty easy thing to test when there's a frickin' turbofan firing directly at you. Okay, well... Oh. Whoa. Oh. Yeah, I felt like that answers our question really, doesn't it? Right, let's get at that sticky ball. Whoa. Is anyone else expecting this thing to be bigger? Okay, this room got a lot worse very quickly. I will say, this tiny little thing does sound genius in concept. It's a ball made of thermoplastic rubber, which has a sticky texture to it, inside a hard plastic cage. So the idea is you chuck this into your bag, and then the rubber catches the dirt, the dust, the hair in that bag, and then that dirt doesn't go back into the bag because the ball is kept separate by the cage. I just had a really intrusive thought. By way of introduction, this is my actual regular backpack that I use pretty much every single day. This Cheeto dust, oh God, it's now gone inside. The things we haven't done to make this video. Sticky ball goes inside. So I'm basically simulating a day of walking around. How much of the Cheeto dust does it pick up? That's the question. Let's see the damage. Oh no. The smell of Cheeto dust is very strong. There's Cheeto dust on the sticky surface, so it works. It's just, I have overestimated this thing's cleaning capacity by an order of magnitude. So essentially this is a somewhat low-lift way of reducing the internal carnage in your backpack or handbag, but it's not gonna make like an 80-90% difference. It's gonna make a 10 to 15% difference. Therefore, it's trash. Now, it's gonna be hard to outcompete the pizza we made earlier, but if anything's got a chance, it's the wrap sealer. So, as the name suggests, this thing apparently allows you to seal a wrap, as long as you haven't massively overfilled it. So it's a pretty simple mechanism. Its wrap goes on there. Let's get some meat. This is usually the part where Milo would have invaded our set. Some rocket, and finally, just because we have them, some Cheetos. 3, 2, 1. Crimp like you never crimped before. Okay. If that hasn't worked, then I don't know what will. And now we reveal. Ooh, okay. It just looks like a massive ravioli. You can absolutely tell the effect that it's trying to create. It's just, I mean, even with all that force, it's still not really holding itself together. So, I mean, really, that's a wrap on this thing. Okay, Apple Watch Ultra conversion kit time. Wow, it's kind of strange seeing what looks an awful lot like an official Apple Watch Ultra part, but in very clearly non-Apple packaging. Okay, let's take it for a spin. So I have to say immediately, this is plastic. I thought it would be metal. And to be honest, given some of the pricing miracles we've seen so far, there's no reason it couldn't have been metal. At least the screen protector itself is glass, I think. So, normal Apple Watch goes inside. Okay, so one of these is an Apple Watch Ultra. One of them is not. Which one's which?
Definitely this one. It's not an Apple Watch Ultra.
Oh.
Okay. But only because of this bit. From the front, it looks the same. From the sides, you can tell.
I mean, yeah, from every single angle you look at this from, it's very clear that A, it's trying to look like an Apple Watch Ultra, and B, that it isn't succeeding. But here's the important thing. If this $2 case plus the original Apple Watch is actually able to match the basic Apple Watch Ultra in terms of protection, then it does massively reduce anyone's incentive to actually go out and buy an Ultra. Out come the hardness picks. Let's go straight to a level 7. That doesn't scratch it nearly as much as I was expecting it to. And then also, but less surprisingly, the Ultra's display is completely fine. Level 8. Okay, there's your deeper gouges. That hurt. Ooh, still surprisingly intact. So then really, it's gonna take a level 9 to actually scratch the Watch Ultra. Oh, that sound. It's like the opposite of ASMR. So right now it does seem like the Apple Watch Ultra is doing better. Okay, hammer time. This is actually like the most painful thing I've done all day. Eye protection. And a musical interlude if I fancy it. Basic Apple Watch with $2 Apple Watch Ultra case. That's a definite crack. Apple Watch Ultra. Back is cracked. This is an interesting comparison. Because on first glance, there's a pretty obvious winner here. It's the Apple Watch Ultra, right? But this is a case, which means if I snap this off, still getting notifications, that's a good sign. Then actually, it's completely unmarked from the front, not a single scratch. And then on the back, there is one crack going across it. But everything that matters is untouched. Whereas the thing with the Watch Ultra is because there's no case, all of that damage that we have ended up doing to the screen, that's on there. And then the back is completely shattered. This ain't reading your blood oxygen level anymore, trust me. So the main point is really just that cases make a difference, and this one is average. It's not good enough to be called a treasure, therefore trash. At just over $1 now, apparently you can still create an atmosphere at this budget with the USB lamp. Ooh.
Okay, so Pro, I now have a tiny bit of cool blue LED light around my USB ports. On, I now don't have any more USB ports. This is pretty much the definition of a trash product. I mean, of all things to spend your USB port on, it's not very high up on the list. But now we're here, transfer has been completed. So there is now loaded an 80 gigabyte file
On this supposed 16 terabyte memory stick.
If this plays, then it's at least 80 gigabytes of storage space. Does it load? Oh, wait. So, a picture is starting to emerge. They've essentially created a fake digital label such that it comes up on your computer as 16 terabytes, but its max capacity is actually 57.9 gigabytes. We ran a hardware test and that's what it's actually identified it as, which makes sense because 64 gigabytes is a very standard memory capacity, and 64 gigabytes, when you count Windows formatting, ends up at around 57.9. So on one hand, you are actually getting about the storage capacity that you're paying for. It's just trashy way of going about it.
But at the very bottom of the pricing ladder, it's the $1 no-tie laces. Did I order these in hot pink? So I've replaced the laces on my everyday shoes with these no ties, but it's kind of a weird process. I was definitely picturing totally optimized simplicity here, given what the product is. But to get these things working requires sharp blades and fire. It's not a figure of speech. Because you have to thread the laces into your shoes, and then since these don't have the slack that you would tie into a knot, you have to cut them off at exactly the right length for how tight you need your shoes, and then burn the ends to minimize fraying such that you can get the clips onto the ends. But get through that, and this is kind of exciting. It's like none of the faff of laces and none of the embarrassment of Velcro. Oh yeah, this clip is practically meaningless since the entire lace is elasticated, but that basically turns any shoe into a slip-on shoe. It's so secure on there, and it's so comfy. Set up aside, that's the best product of the whole video. So you know what that means? It's Hall of Fame time for a pair of $1 elasticated shoelaces. Who would have thought? So yeah, we went all out with this video in terms of like effort. The number of different Easter eggs we had to plant into every single room to make them cheaper and cheaper was like very fun, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you'd like to see a video with a slightly higher budget, then that's here. Catch you there.